If we want to do that,
pull it out.
Do that?
It's
All
really
right,
cool.
I'll pull it out.
We might as well talk about it.
If I have it still. I should still have it, but I don't know.
So the most interesting deck in the top 16.
Yeah.
It's androids.
It was this, yeah. So, this deck. Android 17 and 18, it's a leader from set 2. It reduced the cost of, on both sides, it reduced the cost of Android 17 and 18s in your hand by 1. It awakens at 6 energy and draws you 6 life and draws you 2 cards. And on the flip side, the awakened side, if your life is 4 or less, Android 17 and 18 gain all Android 17 and 18s in all areas gain plus 5k.
Which includes the leader. So
yes, which includes the leader. So that means it's like usually when something awakens at 6 or less, it only has 10k on its awakened side. So this basically just up and negates that. So when we go into the deck, we will see the first card going straight into that combo killer.
There's the Analaza. Yep.
Yeah, Analaza.
That card's really good.
We see the new Gohan, which makes this deck really viable.
You're probably never going to see a green deck not playing this at this point.
Yeah. We're seeing the cells, which I love the cells.
This one's playing the Speedy Surprise Attack also, because androids.
It is playing 2 copies. This is playing actually 6 negates.
Yeah.
It's playing 2 Speedy Surprise Attacks and the 4 of the full power energies, which is really nice.
It's playing, which I think is really cool. This deck's playing Energy Guard Android 17. Because it means you get the same. He's really good, and you get to take advantage of his abilities for only 2 energy. So,
and it's running the amazing super combo that is stout-hearted Android 16. It doesn't give you anything, but it takes away from your opponent, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And we are seeing the new stuff for androids from the expansion box.
So we've got
the
full cell package, basically, like the 3 main cell cards, and then we have the new one,
which is a token generator.
Tell us about the new cell.
So the new cell is a 5-drop, so that means you can play it straight off of the first Union Absorption from 3. That means all you need is the Android 17 and the going under the Growing Evil cell.
Which is why there's so many Android 17 targets in this deck.
And less of the Android 18 targets.
Yeah.
There's only actually 2 Android 18 targets, which I'm okay with, but also not at the same time, but whatever, it's not my deck. This card, when this card is played and your leader card is an android, it doesn't say green android, mind you. Draw 2 cards and play 2 Cell Junior tokens, which they are 10k, 0 combo cost, and 5k and 5k in the combo, which instantly means that you just get a free 10k, or if you're doing this while your opponent's still at 10 power as the leader, you get 2 attacks into the leader, which is really nice.
I wonder if you could do like a Mira Cell deck. I wonder if that would work.
I'm sure you could. I think I've toyed around with the idea in my head. And then we have the Limitless Energy Android 17, which with this leader is a 3-drop, remember. It has Barrier and Blocker, which those 2 combined are very hard to deal with sometimes.
Yeah.
When you play this card and your leader card is green, this one is specifically green, but you can use this in any green deck. It doesn't have to be Android. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. It's just a free pop.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. So this deck is obviously was able to keep up purely because
the energy reduction.
The energy reduction of Android 17s, and I guess technically
made this
speaking
very
18s.
efficient.
Because that means first turn you can play out your newfound Power Sun Gohans and swing in with a critical. The next turn you can swing in with another critical of Dreadful Duo Android 17, or place a barrier or a blocker on the field.
This deck
can swing in and have some protection. It's very utility.
This is very much a more defensive deck, which you're not going to see too many defensive decks floating around right now, but this one's definitely designed well and can't. While it's defensive, it does move fast enough to deal with the current meta.
It's still pretty cool to see them taking advantage of the fact that the Awakened side is also Android 18 with the Krillin Giru that we're seeing here.
Yeah.
And because it does awaken so early, it's okay to actually have multiple copies of this in the deck. This is a pretty basic green Android deck, at least. I'm really happy that I'm seeing this Vile Replication sell. As soon as I saw that announced, I thought it was a really cool card. Same with the Limitless Android 17. I'm an Android player, a Cell player, so it's really cool to see this. I like to also see that they are playing Time Control Chronoa in the main deck for that draw, since it's literally just energy boosted Majin Buu for any color. It the fact that it, except for the fact that it also has 3 power, which kind of balances.
Does it really matter that much?
No, because you're not exactly gonna swing with a Buu anyways. That'd be hilarious, but
this deck sort of it showed me what exactly is valuable in the meta right now. I think this sort of opened my eyes to what you can get away with playing. Because the reason why this deck can be successful is because it can put stuff on for low cost.
That's the main
reason
meta
why Cell isn't working right now, is because it's tough to put some of that stuff on board. Even though you can put stuff out really quickly, the fact that a lot of the cards are more spendy without even the Androids and 17s are really hard to play. And you very rarely play stuff like your Energy Guard 17s or any of your 18s. Very rarely that you put those on the board. The only real saving grace is the Cell's Birth kind of helps you deal with playing stuff faster, but
yeah, Cell's Birth can get you, in the right circumstances, can get you perfect Force Cell out on turn 2 if you have the perfect hand, but sometimes that's not exactly great, because depending on the deck you're facing, your opponent may or may not have the amount of cards that you really want to get rid of. Like, you can kind of set it up well by making them take damage, but even then it's a little iffy.
Yeah, it's really why I perceive what I'm perceiving as why Cell is not doing well right now, is because so many of the decks, the red-blue aggro decks, are just gonna vomit their hands onto the board basically. So you're really not gonna see people who are gonna be major targets for this card. You're not going to get a lot of discards off of it playing against the best deck in the game right now.
I feel like my deck that I've chosen to go with, or at least I'm currently going with, is kind of a target for this, though, for Cell.
Yeah.
Because with the test hands I've had, and test hands are usually just for assumptions on certain things, I have to make multiple assumptions, but, I end up with at least a hand of 9 very, very easily. Alright.
Thankfully, you're probably not going to see a lot of Cell, but
maybe we'll see. So, why don't you go first? We're gonna go our final little segment of this video. We're gonna go into our how we've decided on the decks that we are going to play and what we were thinking about playing beforehand.
Yeah. So we're just gonna go into my saved objects here, so you can see I got a whole bunch of decks. We've toyed with a lot of different decks over the last several months. So originally I was playing this deck. So I really like this leader. So the Universe 7 Frieza deck is very fun to play. Now I know what you're thinking. What is this? What kind of scrub is this trying to talk to me about competitive games and he's playing Death Razor in his deck? You can go straight to hell, because I love Death Razor. It's It's a fun card. I
card
don't
has
think anyone
fucked me
plays it,
so
but
many
it's
times.
so fun to drop this on someone when they have
It is
like something
so
huge
really
on the board. I feel like this is
so
a really...
fucked up.
I feel like Death Razor is like one of the best casual cards. I don't really
Yeah,
think it's very
probably.
competitive, but it's definitely fun to drop on someone who's playing like an archetypal deck where they're putting lots of evolutions out.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's very casual play.
Yeah.
It's
So-
too slow for the current meta, though.
So Universe Frieza is actually a pretty solid leader because he just gets you lots of draw power. It's just discard a Universe 7 and draw 2 cards.
And it doesn't even have to be when he attacks, which is really fun.
Yeah. You can resolve it twice in one turn if you're awakening, so it's pretty great. It's not the most powerful ability in the world, but if your deck is strong, it can be a huge boost. The flip side is pretty much the same. The only difference is you get to switch one battle card and switch it to rest mode. So you get to deal with your blockers, and you can start screwing with your opponent as soon as you flip this guy over. So obviously we're playing the Frieza package. A newer addition is the At All Costs Vegeta, which as soon as I saw it, I was like, yep, that's going in my Universe 7 deck. Just can't not play that. The Frieza stuff does a lot of switching stuff to rest mode, ignoring Barrier even for this 5-drop, which is absolutely insane. Normally this card would be really hard to play, but I'm playing a blue engine that makes it actually pretty smooth. The big Frieza, if your leader card is yellow and your opponent's... oh, sorry, hang on. Okay, so first of all, this guy's Triple Strike. He's an EX Evolved for 1 energy and a Universe 7, which is pretty cheap.
Discarding a Universe 7 specifically.
Yeah. Permanent, if your leader card is yellow, your opponent's counter skills and non-keyword auto/activate skills cannot be activated unless they place 1 card from their hand to the drop area.
And
So-
keywords are like Double Strike, Critical, and the things in red, the skills are in red, those ones do not affect this skill at all.
This is really freaking powerful if you can put it on the board. If you can't kill your opponent, but you can play this card, it's gonna make it really hard for your opponent to play next turn.
Yeah, because they can't even play their super combos without
Yeah.
taking a damage.
It
which
also is
just
really good if you're
mean.
trying to swing for game, because then your opponent's gonna have a harder time defending.
Yeah, it's definitely a mean card. Probably one of the meanest cards that came out of
Yeah.
Tournament of Power.
This deck's
sure.
This deck's almost like a yellow-green, because I play a lot of the green and yellow stuff from Universe 7. I just think Universe 7 has really powerful green cards. Like Destructo Disc Krillin is really nice for awakening and removal.
Yeah, that's
Android Infinite Energy Android 17, aka Noah's Worst Nightmare.
no. It's just the most bullshit decision that this game has made so far. Not letting you play that with an Android leader. It's
Yeah,
fucked.
it's weird that Android 18 can't be played in Android decks. I would hope that someday they give us a Universe 7 Android leader, but I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Oh my god, I would love to see an Android 17 leader.
I could definitely... spoilers for Dragon Ball Super. If you haven't watched it, skip ahead like 30 seconds. Android 17 won the Tournament of Power, so I could definitely see him getting a leader, just because he has that
Yeah.
prominent role.
But
It's
they
odd
kinda
to me
missed
that
their
he doesn't
chance to.
already have
Yeah.
a leader. Well, they're
Like,
still
they made-
printing Universe 7 leaders, though, is the thing. So like, it's not like they completely missed that chance.
Yeah, no. To be honest with you, this game can go like they have so many options with the cards they can create. Like they've made a million Goku leaders, and all of them are pretty different.
I think
So
I think the most interesting combo that this deck has available to it is Trunks' Power Overseeing Time. It really makes this deck function really well because you do a lot of discards. It allows you to get to your Overwhelm faster. And then when you Overwhelm with this guy, you get to just get back one of the cards that you discarded. So none of the cards you discard really matter because you can grab them at any time if you get to this guy.
if you truly need them.
Yeah, so it's pretty good.
Which is also just one of those mean overarm cards that you just play out when you after you attack, and it's like,
Yeah.
fuck, it's a 20k double striker.
Yeah, he's also the the double striker, so he's definitely really good. I've definitely like screwed over Noah and Jeff quite a few times with this card.
Yeah. I've been screwed over by it.
Yeah, I think I had made another version of this when I was actually trying to plan for regionals, but I wanted to show the version that I was playing prior to that rather than that, just to see the core function of the deck. I did make numerous changes based on the first regionals that we saw the results for, but none of that really matters because I very quickly, after this last regional, came to the decision, the realization that this deck was not going to work in the current meta. It just does not move fast enough.
The deck that you are currently going to be playing is actually the first deck that you ever played.
It is. So the current deck that I have put together, where the heck are you? Here it is.
So how we started playing is we started in set 3, my bad. So I bought both the starter decks of that set, which were a black-green deck with Mira as the leader. No, with Masain as the leader. My bad. And the red GT deck.
Yeah.
With Super Saiyan Goku as the leader. And I also bought myself a box of Cross World 3, and I gave him the Pan leader since A, he loves Pan, and B.
Well, I mean, I don't think I loved Pan at the time.
Oh, really? I thought you liked Pan back then still.
I mean, I liked GT and I liked Pan just fine. I think at the time, I was like I was really, really unhappy with the Goku GT leader that came in the box. It's so bad. I think it might actually be the second worst leader in the entire set. I can't say worst, or in the entire game. I can't say worst because obviously fucking Hercule exists.
And I in Mass Saiyan like completely outclassed the leader. The leader. Mass Saiyan is an amazing leader.
I think I did ask you if there was a Pan leader, and you're like, yeah, I think I pulled one. And we looked at it, and I was like, that's just objectively better than the Goku. So I think I want to start playing that.
I actually pulled 2. I still have a copy of that. So.
Yeah, so this leader was seeing play. It's not as much anymore just because the game has changed so much.
I feel like it's playing more in locals, though, than it probably would be in like a regional.
So this leader is pretty dang good. When you play a battle card, any battle card, there's no restriction. You can play this with other colors if you really want to. Choose that card and it gains 5k power for the duration of the turn. Then, if its power is 20k or more, draw a card. So, that's really good.
And let's just put this as a disclaimer. Let's say you play Double Shot Vegeta on your opponent's turn. It also gets that boost, and you can also get that draw. So
yeah,
that's
if you do that, I always forget about that. But yeah, if you play that on your opponent's turn, I know I really do need to remember that more because I've missed draws because of that. It's basically the same ability on both sides. The only thing that changes is the when you attack, draw a card on the flip side.
And it's also a standing of 2 energy, which is amazing in this deck.
Digging Deep Vegeta, which we discussed before, is really good in this deck because I want to awaken as soon as possible to get those 2 energy stood. I'm only playing 3 gear now. I used to play 4. One choice you guys might find interesting is my Grand Tour spaceship. I didn't used to play this.
So you realized how good it was?
Until I realized that it could play Fearless Pan. Which
Fearless Pan arguably kind of makes this deck.
It does. I know it's not being played so much anymore just because it doesn't really fit in with a bunch of the other stuff in the red-blue decks, but when you're playing pure red, this card's really goddamn good. So, The
As
other
blocker barrier.
So a lot of my choices are pretty standard for red. Oh yeah, so Fearless Pan is pretty much the whole reason I want to play this deck. But yeah, blocker and barrier, and when you play it, you choose all red cards, and they gain 5k and double strike.
Including your leader card.
So it's basically an OTK deck.
It's a I'm gonna kill you as fast as possible before you kill me kind
Yeah,
of deal.
it's, hey, look at all these things on the board. It would be a real shame if they all hit you with double strike. Wouldn't it?
We are actually, we're still kind of messing with his deck a little bit.
We are. I might be dropping that down to 3.
Especially with this Ability Unleashed Ultimate Gohan. And I'm trying to convince him to make room for a Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan.
Yeah.
Because that card is really good, even at 1 or 2.
If I could, I would totally play the promo Gohan that everyone's playing.
Yeah.
But it's
that's like $30.
$20. Is it 30? I thought it was like 20.
I'm pretty sure its lowest is 30 and it goes up to like 30.
It's too expensive for me, and as much as I want to play this game competitively, I'm not willing to spend $100. Or
At least
like
not right
$60 to pick up 2 copies of a card.
Yeah.
So it's
not
I
in our
definitely, if
current
you wanted
situation
to,
at least.
So so GT Spaceship's good, the gears are good because you can play them at any time. Mira from the Darkness, this may seem like a very strange choice, but considering all the aggro in this deck and the fact that this doesn't cost an energy, just dropping a critical on your opponent late game is definitely not going to be a fun time for them.
No.
Plus,
again,
it can gain since there's no color restriction, it can also gain the +5.
And Overwhelm is just a really nice thing to have when it's like, after all of your attacks are done, after all your energy is like rested, you play this out on them, and your opponent thinks there's nothing else happening. But then Mira with a 20k critical comes out, and it's just like, oh,
literally no one is going to expect this because everyone's playing Fu.
Yeah.
And Fu costs an energy, so.
And also another thing that you can see, even though he doesn't have them together, is he is playing 8 1-drops.
Oh yeah, I'm playing Saiyan Kaba at 4 and Chain Attack Trunks, or Intensifying Power Trunks at 4.
Yeah.
I'm also playing Quick Rush Trunks just because I like 2 drops with crit. It's fun.
Quick Rush Trunks is a good card. Yeah.
This deck. So I went with this deck over Universe 7 because you might notice I don't have like any card in this deck that's worth more than 4 energy. And
the ones that are, he's not gonna play via energy.
This is sort of a strategy I've been refining for a couple months now, where basically the whole goal is to kill your opponent as early as possible.
Yeah, right now I already know that if I run into you, it's an auto loss. Like,
I picked this because it's fast. It doesn't have nearly as many power cards as some of the top decks, but I can rush you down like crazy, and my opponent like won't even know what to do about it. It's just, I see this being a really solid rogue choice. If you don't want to play red-blue, try playing pure red and taking a similar approach to what I've done here. It's way cheaper, and it's really fun to play this way, and your opponent's going to just be flabbergasted when you drop that Fearless Pan with like intensifying power, like a couple intensifying power trunks on the board. It's like, it's just crazy. It's very strong.
Fuck, even the Giru's on the board.
Well, they don't matter as much, but they do gain 5 plus crit, so... Or plus double strike, not crit.
So... I guess, unless if you have anything else to say about your deck, I should probably move on to mine.
Yeah, I mean... I know it's probably doesn't... might not look like much on the surface. I promise you, this deck is really good.
It's mean to go
It's
against.
super mean.
It rushes
I
down
think
really
this
fast.
this deck is my best shot at keeping up with what's being played right now. I think this is one of the best strategies you can do for. I think this is almost like an anti-meta deck. Just because I'm like specifically trying to out aggro my opponents. So let's go and look at some of your stuff then.
So I was originally gonna go with Cell. That's my first. Now, again, going back to when I first started playing, I started off with the Mass Saiyan deck, but I also opened the Mirror Leader, and the Mirror Leader was really strong in my opinion, so I changed out that leader and kind of started building up that deck a little bit. But I really wanted to build Cell, because the Cell leader to me is probably the most fun and interesting leader there is in this game.
Oh, it's
like,
a really powerful leader.
It's what this game was doing right at the beginning, and kind of shows what they're kind of doing wrong with all the normal effects, like just attack, draw a card with the leaders that are doing. Because this leader, front side is just the awaken, draw 2 cards, and you can place a card from your hand and pop a 3 or less on your opponent's side of the field, which is strong on its own. But then its flip side, Ultimate Lifeform Cell, it doesn't have an auto. It only has activate mains, which is, you don't see that anywhere else really. You play, and it completely changes. Uncommon. It completely changes what it does too. Like, instead of the place one card, draw a card, place one card under it and draw and pop a card, it's place a card under it and draw 2 cards, which is great value. And then you can combo on the turn that you play it. I mean, you awaken it by placing a card, popping a 3 or less, and then on turn, when you flip it up, you can choose 2 cards from under it and just pop any card. It doesn't have the 3 or less anymore. Popping 2 cards with just your leader is very, very strong. The only problem with it is how slow it is.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say that that's necessarily a problem that the leader itself has. It's androids are really good in the slow game. They're really good for the long game.
So go ahead and search the deck, Rex.
Yeah. But I wanted, you know what I just realized that also has no bearing on anything competitive, but it's kind of interesting. And that's that you and me both started off playing villain decks, and we both ended up playing hero decks.
I'm not playing a hero deck at all.
Yeah, you are. You're playing SS3 Goku.
Yeah, but the deck itself is not.
Okay, but
hero.
I mean the leaders specifically.
Okay, I guess, yeah. But with this, it's just a very basic, except for the new Gohan, it's a very basic Android Cell deck. There's not much too exciting about it, except I love the the Relentless Dauntless Mira combo.
Oh, the
this.
Relentless Destruction Mira, or
it's Destruction. Placing, like, doing that right after you Perfect Force Cell leads your opponent with 2 cards, or even 2 cards, and just the fact I just love playing this deck because it's such a hand destruction. I love the control of it.
It's very
just
hand
a fun deck
oriented.
It's just really sucks how slow it is. It's too slow for this current meta, which made me need to switch it out.
Yeah,
and
we tried to make green and
this
blue deck.
Yeah, we were really stupid. I tried to use I did a real stupid. I tried to use the Super Saiyan 3 Goku leader with this, without realizing and without reading Perfect Force Cell that I need an Android leader specifically. So there's literally no point in making this work. Like, you could make it work with just the 5 drops.
Yeah,
all the 5 drops
you could make it work if you didn't want to go for the Perfect Force.
Yeah, if you didn't want to go for Perfect Force, you could make it work, and it might do well, especially with the new Cell. Like, that's pretty good.
It does have a similar advantage to playing the Maiden Squadron, which is pretty much as soon as you play it by union, you're gonna get just to pop something at random.
Yeah,
Whatever the freak you want to pop at random.
It's really nice. Just getting out Evolving Evil Lifeform Cell is really good. It's just a Double Striker 20k, which lets you draw a card and pop a card, which is really good. I started playing the Combo Killer Annalisa in this deck as well. 2 copies, because that's all I could really find room for. I was thinking about getting rid of the Power Stealing Cell, but that also helps me Self-Awaken. But since I do have the new Gohan, not exactly sure if I needed it. But we aren't doing that anymore.
Nope. Cell's bye-bye.
Cell's bye-bye. Still in my heart, but Cell's bye-bye. Now we are
You
playing...
will be missed, Cell.
We are playing...
You might, if the game slows down, if something happens with SS3 Goku, this definitely will still be a solid choice again, I think.
Yeah, and he had his dominant time.
He did. He was very prominent for a long time too.
Yeah.
So you gotta remember, when we chose these decks initially, the only point of reference we had was the previous regionals, which was dominated pretty much exclusively by freaking Mecha Frieza.
Yeah.
So we really didn't have a good point of reference at that time.
And once Mecha Frieza got routed, we're like, okay, what the fuck's happening now? We thought fucking Broly was gonna do something, and apparently it hasn't.
No. But we you know, Cell was doing stuff in that tournament, so we were like, Cell looks good. Cell's probably still gonna be solid. We didn't really expect to start seeing results where it's just like hyper aggressive blue-red decks.
Yeah. But with the new red cards, I guess I'm not too surprised. Colossal Warfare brought a lot to Red's table. So this next deck choice, this is the deck that I am going to be bringing back. We worked on this deck a lot. One of the things that we figured out between me and Rex is that I know the game really well.
Oh, it's shuffled.
Is it?
Yeah, it's shuffled.
That sucks.
Cool.
Edit. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
real fast.
okay.
This deck is the second deck that I built when I first started, because he's not my favorite villain, but he's the funnest villain, I think. Yeah, I built Majin Buu.
It's important to note we're not exactly trying to like take first place or anything.
We're just trying to do well.
We're trying to compete well enough.
Yeah.
We're trying to have fun.
We're trying to have fun going to the regionals, but we're also
like,
trying not to lose every game.
We're not being casuals, but we are like...
We're playing decks that we are comfortable with and we think we're going to have fun with.
Yeah,
basically.
It's our first regionals. We're not really expecting to make a big top or anything.
Like I said before, my expectation is to win a game or two.
Right. I mean, I think that's a really low expectation to have.
And
you should be expecting
kind of
to win
expectations you should have.
You should really be expecting to win like half your matches.
Whatever,
I think that's a fair goal.
Whatever. Anyways, so again, this is the deck that It's Buu. It's a Buu deck with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku leader because none of the Buu cards need Majin. The only Buu cards that need Majin are extra cards. And Buu is one of the funnest decks that I've played, and it's very powerful.
It's given me a lot of trouble in the past.
Yeah. And with the improvements of seeing some things that are in the meta, like Oath's Power Tapion, we never really talked about this card, but it's a free bounce.
We mentioned it briefly, but yeah.
Did we? I don't really remember us talking
We mentioned
about
that it existed, but we didn't talk about the actual card.
So when you play this card, you can choose up to 2 cards from your life, so instantly that's amazing because you don't have to take the damage, and it's closer to your awakening, which, great, it's just like digging up Vegeta. And then you can choose 1 card. Then if you do that, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 5 or less. That's a huge range, and put it to the top of your opponent's deck. It's the range.
It's the range you're going to see in a lot of red-blue decks anyway.
So it's really strong. Obviously, it doesn't ignore barrier, so some issues apply there. but it's still really good. Like bouncing it to the top of the deck, so then it's also not a problem for like a combo piece. Really good there. But the main focus of the deck, your win condition is power absorbing Majin Buu, which you get off of out of control evil Majin Buu.
And you're in an even better spot if you can put Ultimate Evil on the board, but really power absorbing is the main guy you want to put there.
Like, I love the combo of, so when you have South Supreme Kai underneath power absorbing, you can choose it, and for the turn or for the attack, I forgot what it was. Either way, it's not a it's for the duration of the turn. It gains critical, which South Supreme Kai has. It gains all the effects that South Supreme Kai has. It gains the critical, and whenever you attack, you choose up to. Oh yeah, it's up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less. I thought it was a have to do it, which is awesome to figure out now. With 3 or less, and return to your owner's hand. Which is great if there's something on the field that like is standing, but I guess it doesn't matter because it would still become a combo piece, or it's basically for blockers.
I mean,
I'd say.
you can hit gears with that really easily.
But the main issue is that power absorbing Majin Buu has dual attack, which means you can attack twice.
So the main reason you use this is for the critical, honestly.
The critical, like if someday they come up with another South Supreme Kai card that has something better, it may get replaced.
But this is actually extremely good right now with all the 1-drop red cards flying around. You're going to get to bounce 2 of those if your opponent has them.
And then, again, the Ultimate Evil Majin Buu, the 7-drop that's under it, is really awesome when you can go 2 attacks with this, with critical, and then go on to this, since it stands after it evolves and it has triple strike. There's a possibility of 5 damage in 1 turn, and this guy gained 30k.
Yeah,
there's a
it's
60k
pretty insane.
triple striker straight away. Well, not straight away. It's 1 energy and 2 cards from your hand to the drop, which is not much for that.
The 2 cards is kind of steep, but it's not too bad. If you're at the point where you can play this card, it's really not gonna be that big a deal. Like, you're probably pushing for game anyway.
So other than that, like other than the little Buu engine here, you're mainly seeing a lot of regular blue stuff like energy boosted Majin Buu, Weeze's Coercion, Senzu Beans.
One we did not talk about because we didn't look at a mono blue deck is Piccolo the Strategist.
Yes, that's one of the tech cards that I'm having. The fact that it has critical and barrier, probably 2 of the more better red abilities. Barrier is awesome and critical is awesome. Critical is definitely the better attacker. Like triple strike and critical are basically on the same form, I'd say.
Yeah.
And the fact that choose one of your opponent's battle cards, it's an activate main, it's not when it's played, so you can do this whenever. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost equal to or less the energy of your energy and KO it. It does negate it right away. It gives such free movement of using that ability since it's not a play. It's on play. It's a do it when you can and when you feel most comfortable when a bigger threat is there.
And it's basically going to put him at an advantage against pretty much anybody who is not playing SS3 Goku.
Yeah, because instantly, if you can play this card, more likely your opponent only has 3 drops on the board. Unless if they evolved something. Your energy.
And even if they are evolving, if you you're probably ahead anyway. If your opponent's evolving into a 4-drop, you probably already have 4 energy on the board anyway.
Yeah. It's a really good card, but I'd say 2 is its max.
Yeah, it's
especially in this deck.
One you play a lot of.
I'm playing the 3 Raging Spirit Sun Gohans. This card's just really good for the 10k play card. It's good for early game support, early game. Unyielding Spirit Trunks helps me get out my Boos very fast.
It's kind of the extra speed you need since you're not playing all the high energy red cards.
It's pretty needed in this deck. Oats Power Tapion we already covered. I am playing the 50-50 Boost Attack Piccolo and Powers Combined Kibito Kai.
Yeah,
like
that's
I
mostly
said,
for testing at the moment.
I love Kibito Kai. This is probably something that's definitely more tested, but this has saved my life more times than I can count in a game. I have won because of this card. The fact that it has the Jocko and the draw, and obviously the draw isn't guaranteed, but the Jocko effect in a super combo is really nice.
Yeah, and honestly, with the Trunks deck doing pretty good, I definitely don't see this as being a bad choice.
Then the Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku's, again, just another free combo draw.
Just be careful not to be like bouncing back stuff like Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku.
Or your opponent's
super
combo, because
if
then
you
you're
can
just
avoid
giving
it.
them, you're just giving them another free draw, which would really suck. You got to be careful with it. Got to be careful what you bounce back. Unless if you absolutely have to survive, I definitely don't send back either one of those. If you want to send back like your opponent played a Gohan, that's just mean. That's just mean right there, man. They spent the energy to get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
I'm playing 3 legendary flutes. I feel that's all I have room for. I do have a 4th in my side deck if I need it. And I am
think
playing.
That's a good choice.
I am playing Time Choices Supreme Kai of Time. Because when I was originally playing Time Patrol Trunks in my original build. But whenever I'm searching for something, I'm not really searching for an extra card. I am looking for my Boo combos, my South Supreme Kai. I'm looking for Boo himself, like Out of Control Evil Majin Buu I'm looking for. So I'm never looking for any of the extras.
Yeah. And this one just searches more cards in general. So the fact that it lets you look at 3 just makes it more worthwhile. Yeah. Since he's looking for battle cards anyway.
So, I think that's all I can really say about this deck. It's a pretty basic blue Boo deck, but I still think that it can do work with the edits that I've made to it. This is definitely, I think we are calling this channel Rogue Realm.
That's what we're talking about right now. Rogue Realm, maybe Rogue Realm TCG. We don't know yet.
But we're basically, because we are trying to, like we said, we're doing more fun decks, more roguish decks than
obviously
others.
We're not playing like the top meta decks.
Yeah.
As evidenced by Pan.
Yeah. And it's just kind of a play off of the Demon Realm that like Mira and Toa came from as well. But yeah, that's kind of our deck ideas. That's what we're going for. This is the start of our Road to Regionals kind of video that we're wanting to make like once a week or something like that. Because we are actually testing with the current meta decks. We're testing against each other, against the decks that we are using.
Yeah.
We are
tested
trying
pretty heavily against that first place deck, but we're going to be testing more against some of these other ones.
We've definitely stole some wins off of them. I know that this Boo deck has won against that red-blue deck.
It was
that
a
first place
huge surprise too. Like I didn't even expect him to pull out the win, and then he dropped
Time's Choice on the field.
Time's Choice
on
at the end, and I was like, crap! I have nothing.
I had the card advantage there, so it was really nice. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it's a really long video. If you guys stuck around, that's awesome.
And if you're enjoying the content, just subscribe, please. Especially comment. Comment more than anything. We want to start having discussions about this kind of stuff. Comment some stuff that you might want to hear us talk about.
We have a lot of ideas.
Next week we are probably going to be bringing some budget deck ideas for people who want to play competitively but don't want to break the bank.
We kind of wanted to try to take that first place deck, or at least a first place deck, and change it in a way that's still good but reasonably priced.
Yeah,
there are some spendy cards in there.
We're basically looking at making an SS3 Goku deck. Red-blue SS3 Goku deck for under like $50. And I'm thinking we'll look at some other options as well. I have a couple ideas. I think Baby has a very strong, is cheap and also has a pretty good position in the meta right now, just because of all the removal he can do, while also being very aggressive.
It's a red deck, so you can get that early game going as well as some removal to back it up.
So yeah, if you want to see that, let us know. We'll probably bring like 2 or 3 budget decks to the table.
Please subscribe, check out, comment especially, please talk, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Rex and Noah.
Out.